The first phrase I'm going to introduce to you is, hello, what's your name? Hello, what's your name? Hello, what's your name? The first thing I like to know about somebody is what their name is. It's definitely the most common English phrase for me to use because I like to be able to remember people's names, and usually the first thing someone tells me is what I'm going to remember the most. The next phrase I'm going to introduce to you is, hi, my name is Morgan. Hi, my name is Morgan. Hi, my name is Morgan. This is a really common phrase for me to use because I like to introduce myself by starting with my name, and so that's how people can remember who I am and know who's speaking. The next phrase I'm going to introduce to you is, where are you from? Where are you from? Where are you from? I like to ask people where they're from because I like to get an idea of where they come from, what their past is. I like to know a lot about culture, and it just helps me learn a lot about a certain person. And I think it's really interesting to learn about culture, and especially since I have a lot of friends that aren't from the same state as me. The next phrase I'm going to introduce to you is, how are you doing? How are you doing? How are you doing? Out of respect, I like to ask people this question just to make sure that they're okay and to make sure they're happy, and if they're having a bad day, that I can cheer them up. The next phrase I'm going to introduce to you is, what do you do for work? What do you do for work? What do you do for work? Out of curiosity, I do ask this question just because I'm nosy and I like to know what people do for a living, because I think it's interesting that everybody works in a different business or has a different idea of what they want to do in life, and it just is a good conversation starter. The next phrase I'm going to introduce to you is, have you traveled to many exciting places? Have you traveled to many exciting places? Have you traveled to many exciting places? I like this question. It's definitely not a huge question that most people ask, but I ask this question just because I'm huge on learning about culture and seeing places that people have traveled just to share their experience and some fun vacations that they've been to, and yeah. The next phrase I'm going to introduce to you is, what is your favorite food? What is your favorite food? What is your favorite food? I like to know people's favorite food because I love food, as you have already known, and I'm currently eating right now. Yeah. But it's just a good way to get to know somebody, is by what kind of food they like to eat. The next phrase I'm going to introduce to you is, what is your favorite hobby? What is your favorite hobby? What is your favorite hobby? As a young girl, I've been interested in many hobbies. I've gone through hobbies and moved on from hobbies. I definitely enjoy drawing and dancing, and I like to get to know people by what kind of hobbies they do, just so you can connect through that. And sharing hobbies with people is also how you make friends. The next phrase I'm going to introduce to you is, tell me a little bit about yourself. Tell me a little bit about yourself. Tell me a little bit about yourself. This puts somebody on the spot to ask them about themselves, but it's a really easy and good way to get to know somebody and to know what they like to do, who they are, where they live, all kinds of stuff. The next phrase I'm going to introduce to you is, are you married or single? Are you married or single? Are you married or single? This is a question you might want to ask if you think somebody's cute. You could ask them just to find out, just so you know. The next phrase I'm going to introduce to you is, what is your favorite movie? What is your favorite movie? What is your favorite movie? I personally love this question. I love when people ask me because I'm very open about the things that I love to watch and the series that I get sucked into. I'm a huge movie person, and it's just really interesting to see what kinds of movies people like. The next phrase I'm going to introduce to you is, what are some fun things to do in your city? What are some fun things to do in your city? What are some fun things to do in your city? This is a really interesting question just because if you love to travel like me, you might end up traveling just because of some traditions or events that go on in a certain area or city. The next phrase I'm going to introduce to you is, if you could visit anywhere in the world, where would it be? If you could visit anywhere in the world, where would it be? If you could visit anywhere in the world, where would it be? This is also just a question to ask somebody if you're bored or don't know what to ask them, just to figure out what they think and what their opinion is on it. If I could visit anywhere in the world, I think I would visit Europe, just because I've never been there and I don't really know what the culture is like, so I'd like to learn. The last phrase I'm going to introduce to you is, what kind of music do you listen to? What kind of music do you listen to? What kind of music do you listen to? This is also a very interesting question to ask people just because it's basically about culture and it just really depends on where they're from and what they've grown up listening to. I hope you guys found this helpful. Thanks for watching. Bye. And this is 英会話。
実践的な英会話を短期間で効率よく身につけたい方は、いろんなアメリカ人の生の英会話を学ぶのが一番です。英会話教材 This is 英会話では、アメリカ人約150人の生の英会話を紹介しています。概要欄に紹介していますので、ぜひ見てください。それでは次回をお楽しみに。